You do. Yeah. Now, also, I also want to say it probably because since you guys were concerned about it being a life sign or there's something else out there, it is. I think it would be fair to say that you guys would do a repeated sensory scans to see if you couldn't pick up anything else that might be, that might give you some hint that it's not just radioactive materials out into space. Is that a fair assumption?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And based on your current skill levels and your previous successes, I can say that you guys don't detect anything else.
Awesome.
Right. Okay. I'm going to have a little interaction with you guys and Bear in a moment, but I'm sorry. I've been drinking a ton of water because I've been talking a lot, and I know this is
Go
frustrating,
ahead.
but I'll be right back again.
It's okay.
He has to pee.
He has to pee.
He has to
He has to pee.
He has to. Oh my god, guys, I need to make that my new ringtone. Like, legit, the best.
I was thinking of the musical.
Oh,
where like people start like doing that like arm pump thing where they like kind of put down their arms and put it back up into like the triangle thing and just like stepping around the stage. He's gotta pee, he's gotta pee.
What does he have to do? He has to pee. He peed. I think maybe he pooed.
Somewhere out there, there is a man in the bathroom. He's gotta pee, he's gotta pee.
He's gotta pee. Lightning fast, really slow. A tiny stream.
A big old flow. He's gotta pee, he's gotta pee.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi. We made a musical while you were gone.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it's called He Has to Pee.
Oh, fuck off.
That was pretty good.
I wanted it to be like a ringtone.
You know what?
And let me pee among the stars.
You know what? I can't even be upset. I can't even be upset.
It's really good. Like, legit. Super good.
Legit?
Yeah.
Too legit to quit?
Bro.
Hey!
Okay, all right, let's continue on. You guys have been very...
Damn it, Inferno, you got that stuck in my head now.
What?
Too legit.
Oh, good.
Too legit to quit.
Good.
Civ.
Okay, so soon after that, communication with the Razor's Kiss is finished with Captain Killian there, and you resume your flight pattern. Bear comes into the cockpit, and where everyone is still collected. By the way, at this point, during that kind of scene, talking with Killian and whatnot, Blake and Alicia would also arrive at the cockpit itself. They'd just make some general inquiries, but they would see Tom had things handled, so they had no reason to interrupt. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But they were present and aware. That's the important thing. But Bear follows a few minutes later, and he says, well, first he asks, is everything all right? I see that we are once again resuming our speed.
Yeah, I think something hit us.
He furrows his brow a little bit and he says, should we be concerned?
No, I don't think so. We checked a few things out, but we're back on course.
I see. I have something to bring up. I am concerned. I just spoke with Mila. She is now resting in her room. She fell asleep, as she is wont to do. But before she did, she said something that was distressing to me. She said that she wasn't feeling that she was all there, that she might go away. I'm concerned that she might not be. She might have some problems with her. He points to his head, her implants. You knew her longer than I did with her like that. Did she speak of other people? Did she speak of saying things like, I feel like I want to be here, but I should also go away for a while?
Tom will perk up that no.
Even more distressing. He pauses for a moment. We are in a very restricted situation. It is my suggestion that we do not just wait and see what happens.
A question, Bear. Was she singing this?
No, she was not singing.
All right. Okay.
He says, he also says, I decided to ask you. Al is in his room. He is not feeling very well at the moment, and I did not want to disturb his own recuperation. But perhaps medical intervention will be necessary.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Al thinks. He's been a little under the weather. Yes. Something about Starkabosu poisoning, but I don't know.
Nice burn.
Thank you.
Little did Al know that severe over quantities of Starkabosu creates horrible migraines. He just he found out the hard way, so he's recuperating. Although this conversation in front of Blink causes her to say, wait, what implants?
Oh, she's got mind over matter implants. They are metal things in her brain.
Oh, she says, Blink says, I know what mind over matter implants are. Individuals in Eurostation and Lightkiss Station sometimes have them. It helps with them coping with zero gravity. But she didn't get them in orbit, did she?
No, she got it on Earth. And because she got it on Earth and how it all went down, she kind of... It seems like she developed multiple personalities.
See.
Patrick will get up and leave the room.
Blink will continue to converse with Tom for the moment. And Bear, I think, might follow Patrick out. But Blink will continue the conversing with Tom, and she says, "Is she dangerous? Is she violent? I've heard some of them go pretty haywire."
No. She's just like she's just like any normal person. She has the Mila side, which is a lot more playful. She kind of acts like a kid, in a sense.
Blink says, "Oh, I've known that ever since you guys arrived on L-Zone Prime. I figured that out."
There's also the Nora personality, which is the protector. She can be almost as badass as Alicia. And
Alicia gives a snort.
And almost as short-tempered as me. But she's a good person. There was another personality that we saw for a little bit, but we haven't seen her for a very long time.
I see. Blink kind of just mulls it over silently to herself. She doesn't have any further questions at the moment.
Mhm.
Patrick, where's Patrick heading off to?
Well, opening the door, seeing Mila asleep on the floor.
Yes.
And noticing Bear has come with me,
Yes.
he'll ask Bear if he could help him carry Mila to her bed, because goddamn, he's not very good doing it himself.
Bear can do it by himself if you want. He is definitely large and
I
small,
swear,
large enough.
Bear
And
drops Mila.
I am the only
no, he doesn't.
entire group. Okay, fine. Now Bear 2 that has only ever been able to carry Mila correctly.
Yes. Well, Bear has actually had a lot of practice at this. He's kind of her little furry guardian angel. So a lot of times when she falls asleep, it's kind of Bear's duty to tuck her off somewhere else. But he puts her on the bed for a moment, and as he stands up for a moment, he has a horrible look of realization on his face. He turns over to Patrick and he says, Elok. Elok gave her something to help her.
Right. The tea. I'm not.
Someone figured it out.
Yep.
Did we not bring any of the tea?
Bear shakes his head. I've not seen her drink it for at least a week and some more.
Okay. I know the plants we don't have. Unless. And Patrick's gonna go over to Mila. Okay, she's asleep.
You can wake her up, though. Well, you can attempt to wake her up if you like.
Patrick's going to gently jostle her and go, "Hey, Mila."
Mm-hmm.
Let me just hang on here.
Loading goo, loading goo,
Let me just
loading goo.
okay. You see Mila start running in her sleep again. Or you see, looks like she's running in her sleep.
Roll me D100.
This is my moment. Oh, come on, Inferno. That's a good roll.
It's a very good roll. She runs so violently, Patrick. You see her, she's starting to take traction in her bed, and she's about to jostle right out. I will give you a small reaction if you want to intercept her, but she might...
No, I'm backing off. I don't want anything to do
Back
with
off?
this.
You back off, and Bear is too far away to realize this, and Mila is very strong and very fast. And as she starts kicking in her sleep, she slams against the wall, doing 6 points of SDC damage. As you hear this horrible metallic thunk, and she falls back onto the floor. And Bear gives a surprised, concerned yell at such a sudden, violent maneuver. I will leave it up to you, Criana, if Mila is still asleep or not. She could have slept through that.
She is still asleep, yes.
Okay, that didn't quite work. Bear, do you know where she kept her herbs?
Bear nods a little bit, and he says, ever since her meeting with Elok, I've kept an eye on everything, just in case.
Okay.
And he it's in this room, and he says she keeps them in a small bag in this room here. And he pushes over a few of Mila's knickknacks and puts aside the hammer that's on a dresser nearby and whatnot. Opens up a shelf here. And he pulls out a very empty leather satchel. He opens it up. He loosens the string. He opens it up. And he gives a small sigh after looking in. And he passes it over to you. And he says, "It is as I feared. It is empty. Only a few flakes of dried leaves left."
Okay. Patrick is actually not surprised that it's empty. What he's actually looking for is any remnants of something that he can use as seed.
Roll me D100. Unfortunately, no seed remnants are within the flakes. There's a few small chunks, maybe about 1/6 of an inch square of dried leaves, but unfortunately, no seeds.
Okay. Well, might get a bit of remnants to figure out what was in these, but I don't think I can make any more of this.
I know specifically what she was using, if that could help.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you do know, or you want to know?
Oh no, he did. The first time where he actually made.
Yeah, study them. Yeah. Okay, that's what I figured. I had have Bear say that. I see.
If I would have to synthesize something, but that's far out of my league, and usually most of. I'm assuming it's not going to be easy.
Bear shakes his head. What do we do?
I will try some things on my end as he closes his eyes and is obviously furrowing his face in concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And he still takes the empty bag and brings it with him.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. Bear won't stop you at all. And in fact, he can see the sheer look of concentration on your face that he doesn't have any other follow-up questions. He simply scoops Mila back up from the floor, puts her back on the bed, kind of tucks her in, so to speak. And he's going to stand watch to make sure she doesn't run into any more walls. Hopefully.
Good old Bear.
Mm-hmm. So I don't want to speed time ahead right now because you guys are role playing and figuring stuff out. So what would you guys like to do next?
Well, I know he would do something fairly immediately, but he's got storyline time, and I have real-time time. It'll take me a bit in real-time time to figure something out.
Oh, okay. So pause. You pretty much GM, do something. Do a little song and dance while I think. Gotcha.
Da 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 da.
Okay.
Oh, I'm fine.
Let me think here. Let's see. Just trying to think if there's any other NPCs interactions I could have with you guys in the meantime. Because there's a bunch of stuff in the future, right? But I don't want to time speed ahead too much because that's a problem. Let me think. I know what I'll do. This is fun. Okay. Mila,
Yeah.
I'd like you to roll me a D100, please.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. I just gotta figure out which tab is. Oh, there you go.
Cool, okay. Sure. The darkness of your unconscious begins to take color, begins to take shape, in fact. First, it's very, very bleary, all right? It's just general colors kind of all merged together. But soon those colors separate into their own figures, and the sharpness of the lines are made clear. And when you look up, you feel yourself, you feel sand underneath your fingers and on your toes. And you feel the warmth of the sun on your face, although you can't see the sun, for you see 3 figures stoop over you. They're very familiar faces. They're all your faces, but with different expressions on their faces. One of them looks at you with joy and happiness, as if a friend has finally come to their house to visit. Another person looks with not skeptical, but with one eyebrow raised, looking down at you, surveying the situation. The face of someone who wants to say something, but is wisely guarding their tongue. And the last version of your face that's peering down on you, her eyes are zeros. There is nothing beyond them. It is like staring into space itself. An expressionless face peering at you. And you think sorry, I can continue on here for a moment.
I do not know what to say.
That's okay. You don't have to say anything.
It's a dream, I guess. Yeah.
It is just a dream, right? It's just something that you experience. So I can continue on then.
Yeah, go for it.
And before those colors once again begin to become blurry, all right? Begin to unsharpen. Those figures once again just become a mash of a palette of color. You could swear in the corner of your eye, you see the shadow of something else coming up towards you. And then your dream ends.
I know what it is.
You do?
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do. It's Tiny Wrath.
If it's Tiny Wrath, I'm gonna flip my shit.
Something tells me Inferno made it open-ended. It could not be. It's like Schrodinger's cat.
It's Schrodinger's. Tiny Wrath's shadow is the new Schrodinger's cat.
I guess what's her face will wake up then.
What's her face?
Because who knows, right?
Good point. You wake up. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
You wake up. It's a few hours later, at the very least. But you do see your lights are off in your room itself, and you do see the figure, a large figure taking up the vast majority of the doorway, a shadow looking at you, and you can hear the shadow say in his rumbling voice, "Are you feeling all right?"
No.
I see. Can I get you something to make you feel better?
No.
Should I stay here, or should I leave you?
I don't know. Where is everyone else?
Bear says, I do not know. We are continuing our current path. I'm assuming Alicia and Tom are at the cockpit. I do not know where the others are.
Got it. So, I haven't had tea in a while.
Yes.
That explains the... I am not in the best moods right now. Oh, boy.
I see. Patrick is aware of our problem. He
Yeah.
has taken the small remnants of what you had. And I have a feeling that there's something he wants to say. No, just kidding. No, I'll finish this off. And Bear will just end up saying, we are all doing our best to help. There we go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
One last thing.
Yeah, of
Bear,
course. Yes.
just keep August away before I wring his neck.
Understood. I will make sure he stays away.
Appreciate it.
I will let the others know too.
It's probably a good bet.
Mm-hmm.
Nora will get up and kind of shuffle out.
Okie dokie, artichoke. All right. Piff is all ready now.
So, currently, Patrick is with a handful of different foods within the ship.
Great, yes.
As many different kinds and as varied as he can get.
Well, I have excellent news for you in regards to that. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Is it okay if I...
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I have very good news in regards to that. You have ample cargo space, and the food that's provided is, first of all, it's vast in quantities, because, I mean, come on, it's an 8-month journey, period, right? And that's just travel time. But the Baron's connections have allowed a great variety of vegetation and fruit and extracts from that fruit. So I can honestly tell you, you have access to probably about 60 different types of fruits, vegetables, and plant-like compounds, and extracts of those compounds. Okay, sorry, please continue.
He's also in the, I can't remember the exact name, hydroponics bay?
Yep, hydroponics, the hydroponics lab, yes.
And he's currently, sketching down, notes, actually, he's typing down notes. He doesn't have to sketch.
All right.
He has like parts and bits of different kinds of leaves that he seems to have sorted into small piles.
Okay.
It looks like dust, basically.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And he's currently just going and typing down the different attributes of.
So he's cataloging them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No problem. Now, to catalog such a large amount will probably take, even though you're devoted at doing so, right? I'm assuming Patrick, he likes to take pretty detailed notes, right?
His note-taking is very odd. He knows exactly what it means when he looks at it, but if anybody else looks at it, it looks like a jarbled mess that doesn't seem to have like a beginning or end.
So it's like a special form of Patrick shorthand.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. First of all, that's great. Second of all right. For about 60 items, what do you think? How long would it take for him to catalog each things?
He's he's currently just going over the leaves.
The leaves of each of the things.
Yes,
okay.
he's trying to figure out like the base and what he should be looking for first.
Okay, so the leaves themselves, each of those that have any sort of leaf attached to them,
Mhm.
is less than half. There's about 25 different items. Okay, so we'll say of those 25 different leaved objects, all right? It would take, what do we say, about 10 minutes each to catalog it, write down its effects, everything like that. Does that seem fair, or do you think it's closer to 5 minutes?
I am unsure. Okay.
Tell you what. Mm-hmm.
I guess be perfectly clear. I'm taking notes on the things that we don't have.
Oh,
The
what you
the
don't
leaves that
have?
yeah, the Mila's leaves that we currently
So,
don't have any of.
so out of all the okay, wait. My brain hurts now. Okay, explain yourself one more time for me. All right.
Okay, so you know the leaves and stuff that made up Mila's original tea?
Yes, I can tell you explicitly what they are because Patrick know them, right?
Yes, he's
Oh,
currently writing down the attributes of those.
oh, so the qualities of those.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'd like you to give me a botany check, please.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Now I get it. Now I see what you're doing.
Botany.
Mm-hmm.
That's biology. There's botany.
Does that be? Who'd have thought? You know what I love about this game so much? How important certain skills, like math, how important that has had. And now I would argue that this botany check is extremely important given the
Okay.
situation.
Mhm.
So you succeed by 67. So thankfully, thanks to your extremely high intellect, Patrick, you are able to recall down to extremely fine details the qualities and the attributes of the missing herbs.
Fantastic.
That's great.
So,
Yes.
each one of these, he's going to try to synthesize each part of it. Now
Okay.
comes the fairly large part
Okay.
of trying to basically have guesswork of what things
Mhm.
might be applicable in these situations.
Okay. Oh, so you mean you're going to throw it to me to figure out the effects of your actions, right?
So I remember
Oh.
one's poisonous-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, was it like lemongrass or something like that?
Give me a moment, and I love keeping my old notes because I'm going to go to my old notes right now, and I can tell you exactly what they all are, if that works for you.
Sure.
Of course, I named all these by date, so this isn't
Yes.
helping me completely. Let's see here. Deanna's appeal for caution. Oh, that's James T. He's still alive at that point, so that's not what we're looking for. Maybe one of these September ones. Oh, getting closer. This is when you did L Zone Prime, so it's somewhere in between. Oh. Well.
Would it be fair to
Mhm.
say that it is not important about the nitty-gritty, but he would try to
Oh,
be
okay.
synthesizing the
Yes.
variable attributes of all of these things with what he
Yes.
has on hand?
So what I'm going to have you do is a miniature skill check.
All
I'd
right.
like you to roll me
So
advanced. Mm-hmm.
the things that I think that would be applicable.
Okay. Great.
Uh,
Let's hear them.
since a lot of these are extracts and probably semi-chemical based,
Yep.
chemistry would probably be applicable.
Yep.
Recycle would be essential.
Yeah, for breaking things down. Yes, definitely. This is what I'm thinking.
Or was it?
Oh, sorry. Are you done yet? Or no? Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, recycling does deal with breaking. Now, that's mostly metals, but we can
Oh.
do.
Then it's
No.
salvage. Excuse me.
No. Salvage.
One of those is breaking it down to its elemental
It
parts.
is. It is. It is. That's recycling.
Hmm.
It is definitely recycling. That typically does. That is typically metals, but I'm not making it exclusive to metals. All right. I'm just going to have a small penalty to that check, right? Because you're doing
Right.
something organic. All right. So these are the checks I want you to do.
Hmm.
You're absolutely right. Chemistry. I want you to do chemistry It's significant. Now, if you fail just one of these, it doesn't mean it's awful, right? Like I said, it's a
Right.
mini skill challenge. So you're going to be doing 5 skill checks, all right?
Okay.
You're going to do advanced math.
Mhm.
You're going to do botany. You're going to do biology. You're going to do chemistry. And you're going to do recycling, all right?
Okay.
We'll go one after another. That last one, the recycling one,
Mhm.
that's the only one that'll have a modifier on it. I'll let you know when we get to that point, all right? And you don't need to tell me how much you succeed or fail by. I just need to know whether you have a success or a failure. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's start with advanced math.
Okay. Success.
That's a success. Great. So 1 success. Good. All right. Next is botany.
Success. That was a weird
Success. Okay. Great. That's 2 successes. Good job. Next is biology.
one. That's a
Success. Good job. Next is biology. No, chemistry.
Chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry.
Fail.
That's 1 fail. Okay, and then it's recycling, and that's going to have a penalty of 20. So you got to make it harder by 20.
Oh, success.
Yeah. Did a great job. Okay. So now, obviously, this isn't something that's going to be happening overnight. All right. This is an involved process. This is a scientific process, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to say, because is it fair to say that once you try to break these things down to their compounds, you're going to try to make some sort of elixir or drink out of it? Is that fair? Or well, assuming you break these things down to their components, right? What would you like to do afterwards?
Right. He's most likely going to probably make an elixir out of this. Yes.
Okay, great. So this is what's going to happen, all right? The good news is that thankfully, the Baron has provided enough equipment in order to let this happen. So you're able to do it. And you're able to break down and synthesize these materials. It's the breaking down process that gets a little tricky. Okay? First of all, you consume a little bit more than you're supposed to. So a little bit of your food reserves have gone down, but nothing extensive, guys. So it's not something that you worry about. It's not like you guys lost about a week's worth of food, right? You pretty much actually lost about half a day's worth of food for 1 person. All right, so easily recoverable. The other tricky thing is that it takes longer than anticipated. All right, so it'll take about a week before you make 1 elixir. Now it's fair enough for you to take. You're making certain notes, right?
Mhm.
But you're not. You feel good about this. You feel like you did everything correct, right? But
Mhm.
as any scientist, any wise scientist knows, is that there could be some unknown variable that you did not consider.
Yes.
But you're as confident as you can be with what tools you were given. And about a week's time, actually, I'm going to say exactly 8.5 days later, you'll be able to come up with a final elixir that you feel is pretty effective. And we won't know until it is consumed for sure.
Right.
Okay?
Mhm.
Does that seem... I think that sounds pretty fair to you, don't you guys think?
Word, bro.
Word, bro.
Yeah,
Word, bro.
that's awesome.
I love it. People are like, no, that sounds stupid. And I'd be like, oh, because it is like, well, too bad. I don't even know why I ask these things. No, I just want feedback.
Right.
I'll shut the fuck up. All right. So much of the time for this next week or so, guys, actually 8.5 days from now, Patrick will be... now, this is also another thing. You don't have to spend... Like, you don't have to lose sleep or meal time in order to do this, by the way. But I think it's fair to say that Patrick is pretty dedicated to finding the solution, right?
Yes.
And probably word goes throughout the ship at this attempt as well. So before I throw us so far into the future, I mean, a lot can happen in about 8.5 days. Would one not disagree at that?
One would not disagree.
One would definitely agree with you.
Okay, we're all talking like Hanar now, but that's our fault. Anyway, this one thinks
agrees.
This
You'll never
one's
know my-
sassy.
all right. Jesus, what is going on? So Criana, Burn, Piff, Criana. Is there anything, any sort of role plays or anything that you guys want to initiate during this chunk of time?
I think Nora would just be like observing Patrick throughout all of this.
Okay.
Small things of note in general.
Great.
Patrick will be late for just about anything that's important to him. Food,
All right.
bed,
That-
any of
gotcha.
that business.
All right. Cool. How about you, Tomothy?
Tomothy.
I know I'm just being silly. How about you, Tom?
Yeah, I know. I don't really have anything. Just going along with the daily grind of
Well, I have something.
Yeah.
So, actually, I didn't actually illustrate. I told Burn this because he asked about it, but I mentioned it. Is that there are actually not every bedroom has its own private bathroom, right? There are actually 2 bathrooms, on the ship, and what's really nice is that unlike Outcast Station, where you got that chemical material to bathe yourself with, the water recycling on the Rhapsody is extremely efficient, and you're able to have actual like hot showers for the first time in quite some time. So that's a nice luxury. But they're full bathrooms. Well, on the morning of the 3rd day, Nora, as you are exiting the bathroom, you bump into August. And Tom is a witness to this. And anyone else can be a witness of this as well. But I'm assuming Patrick is dedicated to
I'm
doing what...
busy.
Yeah, he's busy. But I'll set up the scene even more specific. The door opens, and as you go to exit, you feel a bony bump on your shoulder. And sure enough, you see August. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were in there."
Nora doesn't say anything. She continues walking even a little bit faster.
August will say, "We've been over this, Mila. You're supposed to apologize."
Oh,
You can't see me right now, but I'm grinning. I have to be in character. I'm sorry. I'm not. Why am I apologizing for being in character?
Nora will take a deep breath,
Mm-hmm.
turn around, and through gritted teeth say, "I'm not apologizing for a damn thing."
Okay. August will look to Tom. Does Tom say or do anything?
Is there a problem here, guys?
August says no. I don't think so. Just,
Kind
usual.
of wish you never would have met Mila kind of problems? Or what are we talking about here, August?
Wait, what? What's this?
Oh dear. August turns to Tom and he says, like a parent explaining to a child, but the patronizing tone isn't towards you, Tom. It's towards no one in particular. And he says, "It appears she's having one of her episodes again."
Perhaps you should go back to your room.
Tom says, "No, I need to use the facilities, thank you. And he looks towards Nora and he shakes his head.
Do you feel good? Does that patronizing people, does that make you feel better? Does it make you feel like a little big man? Make you feel tough?
August scrunches his face and he says, I have no need to feel big or tough. There's just truth and fact, and then there's,
Okay.
rudeness and silliness.
Well, let's go with the truth.
Okay.
You are a scrawny, whiny piss ass who doesn't know the first thing about social interactions. I'm not saying I'm any better, but I'm just saying I'm clearly more likable than you.
August says, I didn't join this crew to be liked. I joined it because, we could help each other out. And and he loses his words for a moment. He's not used to this sort of aggression, and it's clear that it's shaking him a little bit. In fact, and he runs a hand through his hair, and he scratches his beard. By the way, he's actually grown out his beard considerably. It's no longer patchy, but he never decided to end up shaving. He scratches his kind of blonde, scritchy beard. And he says, I just don't understand you. I don't understand anything about you, and I don't understand how people can tolerate these rampant mood swings. I mean, how's anyone supposed to have any sort of form of normalcy?
You know what?
Nora. Maybe we should just, move on from this. As much as I would like to see you punch August here. I don't think that, what happened to Lee happening to him would be a good idea in the long run. Maybe we can avoid this, please, guys.
August pipes up, what happened to Lee? Wait, was August there? No, August wasn't there for that. That's right.
Oh.
Lee did something very similar. Picking on someone who's so innocent, I don't really handle that all that well. So consider yourself lucky that your jaw's still intact.
August is quiet for a long moment, and then he says, meekly enough, can I have my shower now?
Get out of here.
And the bathroom door closes as he disappears behind it.
Nora?
Hmm.
Are you two doing okay?
Who? Who to?
You and Mila.
I don't know. I'm gonna go watch Patrick. Later, Tom.
Okay.
And she walks
that'll
away.
be it.
Yeah. The end.
You know what I love? Is that out of all the people who would witness that, the person that August cannot tattle to could possibly be Tom. He had no ally in that fight. None whatsoever.
Yep.
I kind of love
But
that.
I still kind of stuck up for him.
You did say how much you'd like to see him having punched in the face, but there's no judgment on this end. No judgment.
But I kind of diffused it.
You did. I will give credit where credit's due. You did not escalate the situation whatsoever. You were being very, very admirable. And no one got punched, which is good. We haven't had to use that medical wing yet.
Yeah. It's a good thing too, because that's Darkabosu poisoning. Jeez.
That's true. So, is there anything else you guys want to throw? That was my only real NPC-initiated scene before we resolve the next a little bit. Am I good to continue forward, guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, Patrick, thankfully, after a few close calls, right? Uh, Mila, or I guess I should ask the player, Criana, is okay if we move ahead to the 8.5 days to
Yo,
when
bro.
Patrick? Okay, all right. So Patrick, you're able to. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you've probably pushed through the last few hours where you should be sleeping, but you've been so close to this. And the final drop of synthesized liquid has been finished, has fallen into the flask, and your creation is complete. What would you like to do?
He is going to squint through tired eyes. um, Making sure that it reacts the way he wants it to. Jots
And it
down a
does.
few more notes.
Yep.
Closes, and kind of slides out of his chair and curls up and falls asleep.
Okay. All right. Later in the morning, a good 4 or 5 hours pass. You wake up. Your shoulder and your arm are very cramped, and your right leg has fallen asleep from the awkward position. But you wake up naturally.
He's going to get up, go and get back on the chair, get back to note taking and more research, and realizes that he's done.
Good. Then what?
And he like looks over to it, gets a bit more awake, and moves it like off of its chemical holder, whatever that may be.
Yep.
And
Probably be just a beaker. Yeah.
holds it up to light, making sure right color, consistency.
Yep. Viscosity, color's good.
And he, big sigh of relief, corks it, and goes, all right, step 3. And he stands up, and he goes over to the meal table, hoping that it's one of the meal times of the day.
It is relatively close to that, because you probably would have woken up around 9 o'clock-ish or so. And some people prefer an early dinner. Early breakfast. Blink is definitely one of them. But the majority of the crew, we're going to just say, for the sake of narrative, right? How about Mila and Burn and Alicia and Bear are there. And August actually, especially since this closest run-in with Nora, all he does is he just goes to the mess hall to get some food, takes it, and then he just takes it into his room. He doesn't even say anything to anyone unless specifically addressed. And although Alicia and Bear make some light conversation with him, he doesn't really stick around for talking very long, right? Like, he's polite, but clearly doesn't want to be there. But is it fair to say, Tom, Mila, are there when Patrick moseys on in?
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, Alicia won't be there because someone has to be flying the ship. So Alicia's in the front at the cockpit, but the rest are there. All right, Patrick, you come in.
As most of you would know from Patrick just waking up is a mess, but on this particular day, it looks like he's probably up for a few hours now, even though he hasn't. That's the way he's acting.
Okay, great.
And
I'll say, for the sake of this, Nora, because I know during this time you've been keeping a pretty watchful eye on Patrick, right? But perhaps it was a time when he fell asleep, and maybe, I don't want to tell you your character, but maybe staring at and watching someone fall asleep was probably not the best idea, which is probably why you took a break from that. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, good. I just wanted to explain why you weren't right at Patrick's side waking up. That was an oversight on mine. Anyways, please continue, Patrick.
Still holding the bottle in one hand, he's going to wave with the other to the group, but specifically to Nora. If that is who you really are at this moment.
We'll find
At this
out.
point, it's anyone's guess.
Yep.
And he's going to sit, take a seat near you and go, alright, quantities, take, what would you say? How many quantities do I have of this?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
For you figure it's the equivalent of 4 cups of tea that she normally drinks.
Okay. Take a
Now that you've sorry. Keep going.
take a fourth. I can measure it out if you like, but a fourth of this should generally be pretty good.
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Did you punch your cat in the face?
Lena just jumped on my shoulder and scared the shit out of me, and then she fell. We're
Aw,
okay. Please continue.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Jump, Lena.
And he's gonna say it should be if you take and he's gonna say, can I get a cup?
There are many cups around. Bear hands you one
Alright.
eagerly.
And he's going to pour, and he's going to be that much should be enough. Tell me how it works out. I'm gonna go back and see if I can't work on that a bit more. And he's then going to like immediately become like somebody just hit him in both the eyes. He has black rims around them, and immediately this kind of like slumps over on the table and falls back asleep.
Bear looks around carefully. He lowers his head and he'll say, I will take him to his room. And he gingerly picks up Patrick. And unless anyone stops him, we'll make sure Patrick, like, poor Bear is like on sleepy person patrol.
Yeah.
But that's
he's
Better
so
than having
cuddly.
it as freaking Patrick. He's a freaking Claude. You can't have Patrick carry around.
Bear is also considerably taller and bigger than everyone, so he can definitely handle it, no problem. Anyways, but he'll make sure you have a proper rest. On a side here, Patrick, before we get to the ingestion of such liquid, if you even choose to do so, that 8.5, it won't take 8.5 weeks. Sorry, 8.5 days to make 4 cups equivalent. That was mostly experimentation and synthesis, right?
Right.
You feel that as long as you continue to have, I'm gonna just think about it, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what plants that you synthesized to make this new concoction. I'll give you a small list to let you know throughout the week. Remind me if I don't. But I'll give you a small list, and as long as you always have enough of that, you'll be able to make 4 cups worth every about 8 hours for a little bit, and the more practice you get at it, you'll probably reduce that down to 4 hours.
What?
So like the equivalent of like a cup an hour.
Yes. What he's actually going to do is most likely going to continue doing more research and going to have this as a gap stop so he can actually grow something that may be more accurate.
Nice. Okay, I look forward to that when the time comes. All right, not a problem. Great. So you have a cup of this. It's a mostly clear liquid, but it seems to have a small, like a yellowish green tinge to it. It's mostly odorless, although you do smell almost like the smell of burnt sugar a little bit. It's just a little hint of that. But you have actually Tom and the rest can't smell a thing. It's only your heightened sense of smell that can even get that little bit of scent going on there, Mila.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Down the hatch.
Okay. It slides down your throat. It's a little slimy, but it's fine. I would like you to roll me a d20, please.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, God, which tab is it? This one. Okay, D20.
Okay, good. Your stomach churns just a little bit, getting used to that fluid, but you don't feel ill whatsoever. And I'm not going to tell you how to role play. I think that's not my place. But I will say objectively what the efficacy of that was. All right. So compared to the original of the homebrew that you did yourself, following Elok's guide, this is probably about 80% identical.
Wow.
Okay?
Right.
So feel free to use that as you like as a guideline for your future role play.
Oh,
Groovy beans?
groovy beans.
Awesome. Awesome. But I will say, as a game master, you did a fantastic job with that. Was a very, very difficult effort period to do. I mean, it's not that easy, and I'm really glad that you succeeded and you managed to get this far, Patrick. So hats off to you, imaginary hats off to you. Now,
I love imaginary hats.
I love imaginary hats too. So this is what I'm thinking now, guys, is that I would like to start. I would like to start next session with you guys orbiting Mars, right? Getting ready to start with your objectives. But we still got about at least a half hour or so going on. So I would like to just talk about some stuff over these past, 3.5 months that pass on, just narratively speaking, right? It's more, we can do some more role plays if you want, right? But I'm thinking of just passing by time a little bit quicker. Would you guys be open to that?
Sure.
I'd be pretty open.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm okay.
Okay, great. So let me just go with some broad overview stuff, all right, that I can think of. And feel free we can talk about this as much as you like, all right? So, but much of the journey is pretty dull and boring and not all that exciting whatsoever. There's a few minor events that do happen that kind of color your journey, and I'd like to outline those. 3 kind of big events, actually. Oh, sorry, not big events, minor events. The first is that you do come across a few ships here and there, right? But none of them really stop to hail you. And through, we'll say, radio chatter with either of the ships, although Captain Nocturne seems to be a little bit more casual on the comms than Captain Blackwater, she does mention that probably a lot of those ships are coming from the belt, the asteroid belt, where there's a lot of mining done, and many of the ships themselves are probably going back and forth. They're probably miners, for lack of a better word. And she mentions that some of the most, if people felt restless in regards to this 4-month journey, sometimes it's a year and a half for even very advanced ships to get to and from the asteroid belt. So she makes a small remark that things being mundane is all just relative speaking, depending on what you're doing, right? But there's one other significant ship that you guys do come across over the 8 months, and this is probably going to be a little bit closer when you get to Mars, probably when you're about 3 months and 1 week into your journey. And you see a very, very massive ship, a ship that's actually a little bit larger than the minor Innocence. And its markings are something that you've never really come across before. It's it is a gray ship with like red piping along it, right? Like a very crimson piping. And the markings are soon identified as members of the lunar colony. There's a few marks over the radio that loonies are coming, but you are able to determine that that's just a nickname for people from the moon. And you also hear that from time to time, these people mine the resources that are on Deimos, which is one of the moons of Mars. You're also instructed not to hail them under any circumstance and simply allow both ships to pass each other in a relatively, you see each other on sensors, and your view screens are able to zoom in on it so you get a good picture of this ship. But you've been told not to hail it, and if they hail you, to let Killian know before you give any sort of response. It's not necessarily a hostile thing, but it is clear that these network-controlled ships don't really want to have any direct contact with these guys unless they absolutely have to. It's kind of like two respectful people just minding their own business type of thing. So that's one of the minor occurrences. Do you guys have any questions or follow-ups with that? Am I good to continue, or
Go for it.
what would you like to?
I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good.
And Patrick?
I'm good.
Okay. So the other minor occurrence is that there is, at first, the chatter on the radio gets very, very excited for a moment because sensors seem to indicate, and your own confirm, that there seems to be a relatively small ball. It's only about a half of a mile in diameter, but seems to be concentrated ice. And sure enough, it's hurling through space at a really high speed. You hear rumors and murmurings that we got a snowball's incoming. Well, what a snowball is in space is, of course, concentrated. What happens is a lot of times in the vastness of space, but actually more in the asteroid belt itself, what happens is that miners and scavengers and other people, they're able to find ice, and it can be transported to orbit in several ways, right? One way is for really big snowballs, really big balls of ice, is they actually strap jets onto it with a very simple control, and they like guide it like a really, really large ship to orbit, right? It takes a really long time, but it's the safest because you have control. But what most people do is they slingshot it. They use the orbital, I guess you could say, gravity of nearby planets, or just the velocity. And what they do is, using computer calculations, they pretty much thrust balls of ice through space and arrange for someone on the other end to intercept it and get it, right? Hopefully before any sort of pirate or third party does, right? For the most of the time, that's kind of safe because space is really vast, right? So the chance of stumbling upon a snowball is quite rare. So this is quite opportune, right? This is like finding gold in the street. Except, with much disappointment, Killian Blackwater says, "Ah, shit. It's not a snowball, it's a spitball." Some groans you can hear in the background and whatnot. And what a spitball is almost exactly like a snowball, but instead of concentrated water, it's concentrated carbon dioxide. It's practically useless. It's rare to come across these balls of concentrated carbon dioxide, but some miners like to launch them into space towards orbit as a practical joke. And sure enough, on the side of this particular spitball, you can see it must have been carved with some sort of laser. And it says, "Scuzz says hi." And "says" is spelled like SAYZ. Scuzz says hi. So that's that little minor occurrence. And the other final minor occurrence that happens during this 4 weeks of travel is that there is a minor illness that breaks out on the oh my god, just give me a moment as I have to look at the name of my own ships. I blanked. Okay, the Minor Innocence. some of the people that were picked up on Outcast Station, there's a minor flu-like symptom. In fact, so much that Al asked to comes on boards the minor innocents to help them out a little bit in regards to that. But thankfully, it's not contagious. There are no deaths. There's only about 3 serious illnesses, and it passes after about 2 weeks. So thankfully, that doesn't turn into any sort of epidemic. It turns out to have been a form of food poisoning. What happened is that a couple of the outcast freebooters, they tried to make their own alcohol, and they failed miserably.
Oh boy.
So that's what happened there. So anything you guys wanted to interject right now? I have one last little kind of in-character thing that we can talk about real quick, but I've been talking a lot, so I just want to know if anything you guys want to throw in or ask about or anything like that.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then the last thing I only have on my plate here that I was thinking of is, I mean, if you think about it, 4 months is quite a bit of time, especially to spend cooped up with people, right? And I think it's fair. Now, of course, Burn, I need your consent on this. I don't want to tell you what happens, right? But I think it's fair to say that, I mean, you do a lot of training with Blink herself as far as, using your power armor, that type of thing. You've probably spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
You've known each other, since you're back on Earth or whatnot. So I think, I've been thinking about it a little bit, and I don't really want to roleplay anything in particular about this. But I think it's fair to say that, given enough time, and definitely on the trip to Mars, that, you and Blink probably become lovers if you want to.
Sounds good.
Excellent. And let us never speak of this again. Just kidding. It's gonna. No, there's nothing wrong with throwing a little bit of romance in there, as long as we don't break anyone's comfort zones, right? So I think just
No, guys. Hang on. I want you guys to RP a hardcore sex scene right now.
No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark it off of my quest log, and then we'll never say this again.
No. We don't never. The interactions are going to color, but no, wait, just give me a second. Let me give Criana exactly what she looked for.
Okay.
Furry arms scoop your slightly smaller form as you are lifted up into a wedding pose. You hear a small hiss.
I don't like this.
Brushing against your ear.
I don't like any of this.
You asked for this, Criana.
As you feel a door opening, before you know it,
The door is your butthole.
No. The furry arms are not the smooth, silken, furry arms of Blink. No, they're the rough, coarse, hardened furry arms of Burr. Of Burr? Of Bear.
Brr.
As Bear thrusts deeply Mila into the airlock, shuts the door, and ejects her into space.
Well,
Mila's final thought is, man, no one really did like me.
Oh no.
All right, I got great news for you guys. I'm gonna give you a moment to come up with a second verse for your peeing musical, because guess what I gotta do?
well,
It's been a long road. In from there.
oh, quiet, Gur. Let us never speak of this again. The man who role-played a married man in 2015. Shush. So anyways.
Yes, quiet.
Holy. I'm sorry, I'm just still reading this really terrible fan fiction. And I got to chapter 3. The title is Misa and Say You Do Sexy Stuff! ! I have to see any of these things.
Well.
Huh. That,
Hi.
I think This time it was a bit awkward for the little
Yeah,
intermission.
this was pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah,
You
this
had
is
to
all
do
your
it,
fault,
right?
Criana.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
am so sorry. But the butthole comment still stands.
Jeez. Of course it does. Buttholes. Gross.
Slowly turns into tears.
Anyway, well, guys, I mean, I don't want to monopolize everything that happened over, the 4 months or so. Do you guys want to brainstorm together or think of anything else? Any sort of like major or minor occurrence that might happen? Something that would happen between the dynamic of you guys? Do you think? Okay, okay. You know what? I got a better question. Do you think this 4-month period would have changed you guys in any way?
Well,
other than the obvious.
well, yeah. Tom's a man now.
Jesus.
I think you guys
Look what you've done,
would have
Inferno.
noticed that.
Oh, is that Burn?
I think you guys would have noticed that Tom's a lot calmer.
Nice. Oh, that's what happened.
Lot less
Just needed to get
short-tempered.
laid. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that was it.
No, actually, no. But in all seriousness, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you gonna say there, Criana Face?
No,
No, nothing.
I'm getting the tired brain, so I have nothing.
Okay. Well, you know what then, guys? We don't need to arbitrarily force this session to run for another 18 minutes if it doesn't have to.
That's an oddly specific time, Inferno.
That's 11 o'clock on my watch. It's 18 minutes. How about this then? We're going to start next session. The little fleet, the limited fleet of you guys, you're going to head over to. You're going to be orbiting Mars, and the first initiative of getting that wood will kick us off. Okay. But before I do so, why did you whoops? What'd you do?
Well, I think
did you
everybody on YouTube would probably notice, but I used the wrong screen. Remember when I said I pulled up that fanfic? Yeah, everybody could see.
Oh no! Why?
Like right now? Like for
No,
how long?
yes,
have you been doing this?
Oh, Piff!
Yeah.
Oh well.
God dang it!
That's
No,
quality
don't worry.
stuff.
That's good. That's
Quality. This is why you never hire a mercenary.
Yeah.
Be a professional.
I was very good on every single other link that I did, even though none of that was as inappropriate as that.
Well, worst comes to worst, we can pull it from YouTube. We can edit it, and we can throw a picture of a cat or something in front of it instead if it's really offensive or really
It's almost
crude.
as good as Inferno with Facebook.
I have no idea what I'm doing. No, that was.
Oh, so Criana,
No.
I have another idea for you to draw.
Draw more, Criana! Draw more, Criana!
Draw more! Yeah! Just in case you want to.
I was kidding about the butthole thing.
I'm
Now,
not,
why-
I'm not kidding about this.
Oh, okay.
If you want, you could draw
Mhm.
Blink. Because I
Yeah.
think that she'll be around for a while.
Yeah.
Inferno.
I have a feeling.
Little do you know, on the way back, she's gonna dump you. Just kidding.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be awful?
An assassin comes out of the room. Man in a
Assassin,
trench
like-
coat. Pulls out a gun.
It's Tyrath.
No, what's even better? What's even better is that you hear a zipping noise as August pulls away his skin, and underneath is Nathan Heathcote.
Oh shit!
Oh, no wonder I wanted to kill you! Stab,
Exactly.
stab, 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 stab,
No more
stab,
stabbing.
stab. No, I will miss him.
Little did you know you were just stabbing Patrick. as he threw himself in front of him to save my lover, Nathan Hatecoat.
And then suddenly the screen goes black and white. Mila comes out, starts speaking. She's speaking, but like you can't see, like you can't hear anything coming out, and the screen goes black, and it says, "What have we wrought?" And then it says Finn.
How deep, how moving,
Thank you. I thought it was
how
pretty deep.
utterly bold.
God.
No, but great. Well, this was a really fun session. It was most. What's that saying? When it's backstory, what's it called? When you're. Pardon me?
Is it like a side story or a?
No, not a side story. It's when you set things up for the plot. What is that saying? What is that term? That word?
Prelude?
No, not prelude. Oh, so close. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Character development?
No, not quite. It's okay. I forgot it now. I'm gonna realize it like 3 minutes from now, and I'm gonna scream it. Anyways, it was mostly like setup stuff and role play, but it was fun regardless. So it's all good.
I loved
I'm
it.
happy. I'm content.
It was
I
really.
loved it too.
I liked the part where August almost got punched in the face. That was pretty cool.
Oh, so close.
Foreshadowing?
So close. What?
Prologue? I'm just
No, not
shooting words from chat.
Oh, I know. It's all good. Oh god damn it! I can't think of the word. Anyways, the more I think about it, the more it sucks. It doesn't matter. But no, I'm excited. Yeah, you guys are gonna get to the. Here, I'll give you a little spoiler.
Oh no.
Spoiler of where you're
bugs.
going. That's
hey.
where you're going. So interestingly enough, that little triangle there, that dark triangle, that's actually imagine like a ley line is making each triangle, and that dark area is like forested area.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like this, kind of?
Oh Jesus!
God damn it, Criana.
Get that.
How do you know
out of
it was
there.
me?
Who else is it
Because
gonna
it was
be?
always you.
How do you know it was me?
It's always you.
It is like literally always you, Chris. Get that
Every
dick out
time.
of there.
Like-
Thank you.
It's actually more like this. That.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Yep.
cool. So
And I
there's
mean,
a
I haven't-
nexus here.
Oh yeah,
Here.
and there. Now there are other ley lines throughout Mars, but they're minor, and there's a couple other darker spots which are also forested area.
Yeah.
But this is the big bulk, and in fact, the center of the moon colony is, interestingly enough, right in the center. Yeah, that's right. Good memory.
Nice.
Well, there'll be a lot more details as far as debriefing and how the captain wants to approach the mining of the logs and whatnot. Right, but you'll definitely be entering the danger zone, so you better want to let Kenny Loggins know that.
Okay.
But yes, I'm still trying to think of that word, but it doesn't matter. All right, but anyways, thank you so much, guys, for playing. Yay!
Yeah.
Bruno,
Yeah,
for one, thank you for the session.
you're welcome.
Thanks, Inferno.
Thanks, Inferno.
You're
You're
welcome.
a really great person. Everybody likes you. Anyway.
Great. What a
Okay,
nice
great.
guy.
Why are you guys saying it like that?
It's fun that way.
Really has to be. It really has to.
Two, so I have to speak to you about the general outline of what I wanted to do through the 4 months.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
of course. Lay it on me.
I'm
Do it.
not quite sure if I should do it all right now while we're wrapping
up to
up,
you.
but
Oh,
I
we can
think
do it
this
right.
might
That's
be-
fine.
I think this might be
Yeah.
a good place to wrap up. I think
I think so.
it's just solid stuff. Thank you, Criana, thank Burn,
Yeah.
thank Jesus.
Yeah, thanks, J
No
Man.
thanks to Squee.
No. Aw. Sick. You leave him alone. I got him to do something, and he wasn't even here. You leave him alone. He's a hero.